Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, gurus. I hope everybody's having a good start to the midweek. I know the charts are, which is fantastic. Today's update isn't going to be too dissimilar to yesterday's. I just want to look over a few things and just confirm where we're at. It's a really interesting point in the market because, obviously we're seeing some nice bullishness leading up to the Christmas period, which is happening, I think, to be honest, as a result of multiple different factors. But as I mentioned yesterday in the channel, the news out of Turkey yesterday is probably what resulted in the bullish spring. The stock market, unfortunately, is down with the Omicron news in the States. So that's quite interesting to see sort of Bitcoin moving without or sort of independently of the stock market, which is quite cool. One of the things to note here, again, we're on the daily and we're looking at moving averages, is that we are starting to look at a potential reversal on the 20-day EMA, like I mentioned in yesterday's update, which is quite fantastic because I think that means that we could be starting to see, support of the idea that mid-Jan, end of Jan, could see a bullish reversal and maybe a continuation of the bull rally that we've all been waiting for, which would be quite fantastic. We're getting quite a few bullish indicators here on the daily time frame, which is quite great. It could, in terms of the RSI here at the top here, we could float up top here, come back down, and then continue up. But I'll cover that obviously in the lower time frames now. It's just nice to see that 20-day moving average is potentially doing a nice reversal. We could be getting saved from that death cross situation, which is quite fantastic. So moving along, let me open up a different time frame over here. Let's get the 4-hourly going, and I'll pull up the different chart with our patterns on it, with the descending wedge as well. That's over here. Now we can also have a look at it. I also want to spend some time looking at dominance on the charts as well, just so that we can sort of see and understand where we're going in terms of the alts. Obviously, Bitcoin's sort of carrying most of this bullish move, which is fantastic. And in general, I'd like to see sort of confidence in these areas here, which will allow dominance to sort of drop, and the alts can then start moving, which is what we've been waiting for quite a while now. Let me just quickly fix that. That should be something like that. So basically, what I'd like to do here is I'd like to just look at what the potentials could be for the next sort of, the next couple days, and what the next sort of moves from Bitcoin could look like. As we've identified, here's obviously going to act as quite a heavy resistance, which it has been. You can see it sort of came up close. It could look to sort of touch it again, but I do believe that we might see it come back down, or at least I'd like to see this happen. I'd like to see it come back down. I want it to test this top line, because if it can confirm this top line as support, that'll really give us a bullish case and will truly support the bias that January is going to give us, that bullish Q1 that we've been talking about for quite a long time. So that's pretty much what I'll be looking for here, is a retest, confirmation, and then up towards 52, as we've been covering in the last few days. So I think everybody's on the same page with that. And that's sort of my outlook on Bitcoin. Obviously, the RSI is topping out here, as we can see. Sorry, let me just quickly enlarge that a little bit. You can see that we're getting a bit of a top out here, but it's not uncommon. It does happen a lot where it floats up at the top before coming down. So it's not something that it needs to always be sort of in valleys. It doesn't always have to do this kind of thing. It can sometimes go out, and you actually do get RSI breakouts where it will come out. It will do this where it looks like it's coming back down, and then it'll literally shoot up and stay up for quite a while, which is what we got on this move here, which was quite a massive move as well. So that's pretty much all the things to take note of on the intraday chart. The last thing I do want to cover, though, sorry, today's just going to be a little bit more of a shorter update because I think I covered most of the outlook in yesterday's, but obviously just want to keep everybody up to date. And then looking at dominance, we're starting to see it drop, which is quite fantastic. Also, I think it's quite prudent to note that dominance being lower than ever before is what's really going to allow the alts to take off when we do eventually have this rally take place. So that's pretty much the way I'm seeing it. That's the way I'm looking at it now. We're getting a nice drop off. It could look to come even a little bit further down here. These levels can confirm as support before maybe continuing up, which will allow the alts to really have quite a solid move over the next couple of days and leading potentially into the weekend. So I think we're in for quite a bullish one. As identified last week, this week was always going to be a bullish week just from the way that the chart was sort of looking. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, please just let me know. I will be looking at getting into a few alts. In fact, before we actually finish that off, let me just have a look at a few alt charts here while we've got the video running. and while we've got the update going. As I mentioned in the group, I did get into AVAX last night. I got into AVAX around 118 here. I think this is a good area. It's probably going to be looking to come back to test this before moving up. So I think AVAX could be a good buy here, just so that you guys can see also. I mean, the beauty of these falling wedges is that they're so accurate. I mean, you can see this thing broke out here, literally came back to test the line, and then continued off on the bounce. It's almost an exact science, which is fantastic, and it's one of the things I love about charting. I also think that I'm obviously going to cover these patterns and these chart patterns in the cheat sheet that I'm busy working on now as well. And I think that that's going to give everybody sort of like a really good base to work off in terms of understanding how to look at these patterns, analyze them, and understand them. One of the other charts I want to look at is Solana. I want to see what's happening with Solana. So obviously, we've got this rising trend line here, which I think has been broken. I actually haven't looked at this version of the chart in quite a while, but I think that the way that Solana is working now is that it's hitting sort of a local resistance up here. That's these levels over here, and I think that's probably it's the 185 to sort of 190 level. 250 seems to be like the fair value price for me on Solana in terms of where it can go in the short term on the bullishness. If it does go up to here, it could reject, come back down, confirm support before continuing all the way up. But my eyes would definitely be on a Solana buy at these levels. And then the other one I wanted to look at was FTM over here. I will definitely update all these charts. I need to run through them all again, and I need to sort of update the patterns, update all the outlooks on all of them, and then give you, what I'll do is I'll actually just send snapshots of these charts inside the channel. This one over here, we can see, I think we are getting, it's sort of broken out of the falling channel here as well, the descending channel. So again, what I'd like to see here is I'd like to see it come back down, test the channel over here before continuing up and out, which is going to give us that move towards the $3 ATH zone, which is quite fantastic. I'm very bullish on Phantom. I'm extremely bullish on Solana, and obviously AVAX is now in the fold as well. I'd love to be looking at a few more. I will confirm that Rune is also moving extremely bullish again. I definitely have, I think there's huge upside potential for Rune. It's been covered quite a few times. It's actually following a very similar pattern to Solana. It's sort of giving these like W shapes, which are looking to break through these old sort of resistance and old support levels. So my eyes would definitely be on a Rune buy at these levels. You can't really go wrong buying Rune at $7, to be quite honest. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll actually start doing updates where I can actually focus a little bit more on the alts, and we can start looking at that as soon as Bitcoin starts finding the confidence that it's looking to find in the market. Again, once Bitcoin finds confidence, it allows the money to flow out of Bitcoin and into alts, and that's what sort of gives us that alt season appeal. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be in the chat.